I was cleaning out the garage when I found it. A dusty cardboard box, half collapsed under a stack of forgotten things. Old tools, tangled Christmas lights, a box of my son's baby clothes we never had the heart to give away. The box was unmarked, but I recognized it. It used to sit on a shelf in my apartment years ago. One of those I'll deal with it later boxes that somehow follow you through life. Moved from apartment to house, untouched, like it carried some invisible weight I didn't want to unpack. Inside were a few photos, a baseball glove, and a folded yellowed envelope with my name on it. My full name. In his handwriting. I froze. I hadn't seen that writing in over a decade. My father passed away 12 years ago. He was complicated. The kind of man who worked hard, talked little, and never quite knew how to say I love you, at least not with words. We fought a lot when I was a teenager. I thought he was cold, distant. He thought I was soft, entitled. We didn't talk much during his final years. Cancer took him before either of us could find the courage to apologize. I never expected anything like this. I sat on the cold garage floor and stared at the letter. My hands shook a little. For a second, I considered putting it back in the box. Like maybe if I didn't read it, I could keep the memory of him exactly how it was. Hard, closed off, familiar. But I opened it. The letter wasn't long, it wasn't poetic. It wasn't what I expected. He wrote it after his diagnosis, when he knew he was running out of time. It started stiffly, almost like a business memo. But by the second paragraph, I saw a different version of him. He wrote about how hard it was for him to connect, how his father never told him anything emotional, and he thought that's what being a man meant, being silent. He said he was proud of me. Said he saw me becoming the kind of man he never learned how to be. Said he loved me. And that he hoped one day, when I became a father, I'd do it better than he did. I read it 3 times. Then I cried, not a few polite tears. Ugly, shoulder-shaking sobs like a dam broke inside of me that I didn't know was still holding back water. It's strange, isn't it, how grief doesn't come all at once. It arrives in waves, or boxes, or letters you weren't supposed to find. I thought I'd made peace with my dad's death. Thought I'd accepted the kind of father he was. And wasn't. But reading his words, it was like hearing his voice for the first time. Not the voice that told me to mow the lawn or criticize my grades, but the voice beneath it. The one that wanted to say more but never knew how. I brought the letter inside and sat with it for a long time. My son was napping on the couch, his small hand curled under his cheek. I watched him and thought, I don't want to leave behind silence. That night I told my son I loved him, not just in passing, but in detail. I told him how proud I was of him for how kind he was to his little sister, how smart he was, how thoughtful. He didn't say much back, just smiled and went back to his Legos. But I saw it land, I saw it matter, and I've kept doing it. Every day. I speak the words my father couldn't, because I realize now, the cycle only breaks when someone decides to be louder with love than the silence that came before. That letter didn't change my past, but it changed how I see it. My dad wasn't heartless, he was hurting, and he was human. And in the end, he tried. He reached out in the only way he knew how. If you've lost someone you had unfinished business with, someone who left more questions than answers, I want you to know something. It's okay to forgive late. It's okay to feel again, even years after the world tells you to move on. Because healing doesn't follow a schedule. Sometimes the words we need come years too late. But sometimes, they still arrive in time to change everything.